You caught yourself mid-sentence, alone, in the shower. No one else was in the room, but you were mid-argument, mid-explanation, mid-something, and for a second, you felt a little insane. You're not. Roughly 96% of adults report talking to themselves, and most of them do it every single day. That number comes from decades of psychology research into something called self-talk. And it turns out this habit isn't a glitch in your brain. It's a feature that's been running since you were a toddler. Here's where it starts. In the 1930s, a Soviet psychologist named Lev Vygotsky was watching small children play. He noticed something strange. Kids didn't just think through problems silently. They narrated them out loud. The red block goes here. Where's the blue one? A child tying their shoes will often talk themselves through every single step, out loud like a coach. Vygotsky called this private speech, and he made a bold claim. He said this out-loud thinking wasn't childish nonsense. It was the early, visible form of something every adult still does. As children grow older, Vygotsky argued that speech doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It becomes what we now call inner speech. The voice in your head. But sometimes under the right conditions, it comes back out loud. And the shower is one of those conditions. Why the shower? Specifically, think about what's happening in there. No phone, no screen, no one to perform for, just water, silence, and a brain that suddenly has nothing else demanding its attention. Psychologists have a name for this too. It's called an incubation period, a quiet stretch where your mind is free to wander and solve problems in the background. The shower strips away every distraction except your own thoughts. So the thoughts get louder, sometimes loud enough to become words, but does talking to yourself actually do anything? Or is it just noise? In 2011, two researchers, Gary Lupian at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and Daniel Swingley at the University of Pennsylvania, ran an experiment to find out. They gave people a simple task: search through images to find a specific object. Some participants said the object's name out loud while they searched. Others searched in silence. The people talking to themselves found the object faster. Saying the word out loud seemed to sharpen the brain's visual search, almost like it gave the mind a clearer target to lock onto. The researchers published their results in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology, and the finding held up. Self-directed speech isn't just a side effect of thinking. It can actively improve how you think. Other studies have found similar effects. People who talk themselves through instructions tend to concentrate better and finish tasks with fewer mistakes. Some psychologists now describe self-talk as a kind of tool, the same way a hammer is a tool, except this one is built entirely out of your own voice, aimed at your own brain. So why does it happen more in the shower than anywhere else? Because everywhere else you're performing, at work, in traffic, in a room with other people, some part of your brain is always managing how you look. The shower is one of the last truly unmonitored spaces most people have. No audience. No judgment, just you, working through the day, running through tomorrow's conversation, rehearsing the thing you should have said yesterday. And there's something else going on. Some researchers believe that talking to yourself, especially about emotional situations, functions like a kind of built-in therapist. You process feelings differently when you say them out loud, compared to just turning them over silently in your head. Speaking forces you to organize a thought into a sentence, with a beginning and an end. That structure alone can make a chaotic feeling easier to hold. So next time you catch yourself narrating your own shampoo routine or rehearsing an argument you're never going to have, you're not losing your mind. You're doing something toddlers do to learn how to tie their shoes, something athletes do to stay focused under pressure, something your brain has been quietly building since before you could form full sentences. The voice in the shower isn't a symptom. It's the sound of Vygotsky's little kid, still in there, still narrating the blocks, decades later, just working in the dark now instead of out loud on the living room floor. Except every once in a while, when no one else is listening, it still comes out.